Nano finally calmed down, with a sad look on her face, and began to mutter in a low voice, "Sister Lefiya has only 15 years old, but she is already LV.4, and a member of the Loki family. I'm clumsy and short, so I can't compare. Senior is beautiful and majestic. Of course Luke would admire her. Even I would think that noble elf refers to someone as senior." Hearing this whispered sentence, the hand that Lefiya was about to reach out, she suddenly stopped. Noble elf. When she heard the word, she thought, oh, that's right. She seemed to hear the voice, and all the doubts and confusions she had until then were dissolved and connected. She completely understood. Why are students so noisy when they see each other? Why did she receive comments like amazing, beautiful, and beautiful, which were incompatible with the previous Lefiya Voridis? Nano and the others are going through the phase that Lefiya was looking at Filvis. Lefiya, who learned her fighting methods and didn't want to forget her, was always obsessed with her noble elf face. Arisa said that she'd matured, and it must be because she was chasing Filvis' ghost. After all, if it weren't for that, how could anyone say that Lefiya is a noble elf? It's so ridiculous. Lefiya was eager to be like Ace. Looking forward to being like Filvis. She never thought anyone would dream of being like Lefiya. It's so ironic to lose someone important but gain someone else's vision. Don't worry, Nano. This desire is just a temporary thing. It's just impulsive. Then Lefiya said with a self-deprecating smile. After finding out how embarrassing I am, what an ugly elf, he will be disappointed and wake up. She wanted to use the word miserable, but finally gave up. Because the level of self-loathing she felt was infuriating. Lefiya looked away and looked out the window. Looking at the sky that is also very clear today, looking at the sky that welcomes the return of the soul. To be called a noble elf, I am not qualified enough. Not qualified at all. I'm still a long way from Filvis. Compared to herself, she is stronger, more beautiful and sadder. Lefiya is in love with such a person. At this moment, Nano looked into the eyes of the elf in front of her and was lost for words. She shook her body, her face livid. And Lefiya didn't even notice it. It's okay, Lefiya, Tiona murmured softly. This is the base of the Loki family, the Twilight Pavilion. Lefiya was sent to the school district, and 10 days were about to pass. She was lazily lying on the sofa, looking at the southwest side of the city. Where should Lefiya be? Port of the city of Marin. Unlike us, Lefiya is very experienced, so she must be doing well. Besides, isn't that where she was before? She must be very restrained. Make a good relationship. Tioni and Ace, who were sitting on the same sofa, responded. However, Tiona still looked depressed, and she continued. I'm not really worried about it, it's just, will she ever come back like this? How is this possible? It's not possible. But, Lefiya, it was for Mr. Bet. Upon hearing A's lost voice, Tiona and Tioni also became depressed. In recent times, the female trio without Lefiya has been in this state. To put it bluntly, they have nothing to do now. Of course Ace is going to train alone, and Tioni is working hard to help Finn with the work, and Tiona is with Narvi entering the dungeon together. However, how should I say it, perhaps it should be called a reaction provoked by complete peace. In short, they have more time to live without rushing like they do now. After the capture battle, they fought all the time, so this could be considered as the rest of the adventurers, but, whenever they spend their days lazy and unhurried, they can't help but think about Lefiya. And then there is too much restlessness and you get stuck in this negative cycle. For a long time, she always stayed by his side as a matter of course. That's why she was very lonely. Ace looked at the sofa with a lonely place now, thinking vaguely. Don't worry, Tiona. If that idiot Director Baldr wants to arrest Lefiya, we immediately order the school district to be torn apart. This is way over the top. There's no need to destroy the school district. That is, Loki who was drinking early in the morning. Hey Loki, why did you let Lefiya pass? I can understand that you are worried about Lefiya changing her personality. But can't we stay by her side? She truly deserves to be recognized as an innocent character. Sure enough, the innocent Amazon is amazing. Loki first drank the rest of the wine in one gulp, took a sip, and then said, well, so-called taught people, to put it in the extreme, even if they make mistakes, they will be forgiven. The teacher will reprimand and correct the other party. Naivety will be forgiven. It may be a bit of an exaggeration to say, but anyway, as long as you have the drive, you can continue. Even if you still make mistakes, you can still move forward. Are you talking about Lefiya? Loki did not respond to Tiona, who tilted her head, and Tioni, who asked aloud, and continued, but once this is not the case when you change to a teachable point of view. After the change, the teachable person that you should guide will directly become a mirror. We haven't reached that level. It's just that if I become a mirror, he won't show his own mirror anywhere. Loki is surprised about Tiona's reaction, but just smiles. Standing in front of the mirror, sometimes you suddenly realize something hard that no one can dissolve before. That's what we were waiting for. At this moment, she suddenly changed her target. What does Ace think of Lefiya? As a worrying senior, let me tell you what you think. She laughed and sat down next to Ace. Then, I poked, she pressed her fingers to Ace's smooth cheeks and turned around. Ace tried to make her stop, but yes, compared to Ace, the current Lefiya is nothing. Well, Ace is the most worrying. Sitting Tioni, who was in front of Loki, also poked Ace's cheek, and Tiona, who was walking behind the sofa, took her long golden hair and spread it left and right. Surrounded by three people, Ace couldn't even refute and ended up becoming a puppet at the mercy of others. Ace, who was being pulled and pulled from left to right and from behind at the same time, were like little hamsters, generally lost. At the same time, she also felt that what Loki and the others said was correct. Today's Lefiya is not as dangerous as Ace. They and Ace herself think so. However, Lefiya isn't dangerous now, but I'm really scared. Ace looked at her palm and muttered. Scared? What does that mean, Ace? It looks like Lefiya is about to become not Lefiya. Why not Lefiya? Tioni and Tiona questioned, while Loki looked at her silently. Her childish self and Lefiya's current face merged together, so that Ace could understand certain things. Although this is an intuition that Ace herself cannot accurately explain, she can be sure that there should be nothing wrong with it. And regardless of her former self, the current Ace is decisively different from Lefiya, hence why she uses the word fear. Lefiya has no goal, so she will never be satisfied. Even if we say enough, probably, Lefiya won't stop, just one person, and she is nowhere to be found now. Ace came to this conclusion. But she couldn't express it exactly. Thoughts cannot be translated into words. Feeling deeply disappointed in her inarticulate self, Ace lowered her eyes. Sorry, I do not understand. Don't worry. We can probably understand, and we're thinking about it carefully. Lefiya is important. Loki eliminated the frivolous attitude now, reached out and patted her head. However, the biggest reason for sending Lefiya to that miserable school district is return to origin. The so-called alma mater seems to catch a lot of people's attention. That's right. So I hope Lefiya can remember herself. That's what we think. Then Loki accepted the gaze of Ace and the others, leaned on the sofa and looked at the ceiling. We handed everything over to the other party. I don't know what it's like now. Elsewhere. Lefiya covered her mouth and sneezed. Do you have a cold? Hearing Milia and Nano's excited voices, Lefiya closed her eyes and tried her best to maintain a calm expression, trying to pretend that she didn't notice her flushed cheeks. Here is the port city of Marin. On the west side, in front of the huge shipyard. The school district is now on land.